Bonjour, everyone. It is Sue with Sue is Retiring to France on a Shoestring. And this is a little bit of a different video today. This is a public service announcement on how to get what you need from a government agency or government department, federal government department, if you have an issue and you're not getting anywhere. Now, some of you are aware that last October, the Social Security Administration made a huge error in my account. Just for some background, I worked from January through May of 2024. I started taking my Social Security in July. Well, sometime in early October, somebody on the back end at Social Security mistakenly took all of my income, my earned income from January through May, and plopped it into my account after July, which means for Social Security purposes, they thought I made 5 months of real quote unquote income after I started taking Social Security. And that's a big no-no. After you reach your full Social Security age, which in my case is 66 years, I think in either 7 or 10 months, then you can make as much as you want to a day. You can make $1 million a day if you want to, and you'll still get the same Social Security payment. However, if you take Social Security earlier than your full retirement age, which I did, I took it at 65 years and 3 months, then you're only allowed to make X amount of dollars per month until you reach your full retirement age. So as it looked to them, I made this basically half a year's of income in 1 month, like in September, and so they plopped it into my account in October and then sent me a notice telling me that I owed them basically all of that money as overpayment because they were thinking that it was money I had just made on top of the real money that I had made. So basically double the income, which was insane. I have 2 letters from them dated the exact same day, which came in the mail. Somebody realized the error a couple of hours later, and in the equivalent of government speak, basically said, oops, our bad, we're wrong, this is completely crazy, just carry on, everything's good. Except it wasn't good. In that few hours between letter 1 and letter 2 correcting the error, the notification had already been sent out to accounting to stop my October payment. Now, Social Security pays a month later than the actual date. So my October payment gets deposited into my account in November. November gets deposited in December, and so on and so forth. So I figured something was going to be wrong here, even though I contacted them immediately. And when my direct deposit was due and did not go in, I immediately contacted them on that date, that same date in November. They were able to identify the problem, and without going into even more detail at this point in time, essentially from November 18th until now, that has been going through paperwork limbo and being pushed down the road to point A, to point B, to point C. And just last week, I contacted them again and spoke to another fantastic person. All the people that I've spoken to from the customer service agent angle have been tremendously helpful. They've been able to figure out what went on, and they've been able to move it that next level. But they can't jump 2 or 3 levels. That's just not how the federal government works, folks, and we all know that. So when I spoke to her last week, she said, if you do not get an email from us or a text notification from us or a piece of postal mail from us by April 28th, give us a call back, and then we basically bump it up to the highest person in the chain. And when that happens, then everybody below that level pretty much gets in trouble because it's not supposed to ever get to that level, right? But I was very happy about that because it meant that in one way or another, by April 28th, I would finally get my October 2024 Social Security check. Well, I'm dumb because my last job before I retired was working as a federal government contractor for the Treasury Department. And every single federal agency has I don't know if you want to call it a department or a triage team or a help team. They probably have different names for them. But we worked on the Federal Retirement System, the TSP, for those of you who actually have money in it. And if somebody is upset enough about something, you need to contact your senators and your U.S. congressperson. Once that happens, it automatically gets sent to this special triage team, and I can guarantee you there is absolutely no federal agency that wants to have any cases that are stuck in the congressional queue, because it means that there are more eyes on it than just the usual people looking to see where there were mistakes or blunders. And those cases get kid glove treatment. And the reason I'm sharing this now is because it took me until last month for the light bulb to go off. Don't ask me how I didn't figure this out sooner. And I did send letters to all 3 of my U.S. congressional people, both of my senators and my U.S. congressperson. And yesterday, I got a notification from one of my senators' people who manage this type of request. They reached out to the Social Security on Thursday, and on Friday, yesterday, that check was deposited in my account way before April 28th, way before the standard process that the Social Security Administration has. Now, what do you need to do this? Once you identify a problem and you've reached out to the agency or the department, and you are either stuck in a logjam or you don't know how long it's going to take and you're just frustrated, immediately send a notification through email or through their web portal. Each senator and each congressperson handles it differently. My senators in Texas have you send something through the portal, and then they sent me something back, each one of them individually, sent me back an email with a request to fill out a specific form that allows their staff to access my Social Security account, which is how it's supposed to be. They're not supposed to be able to access any of your sensitive and private information unless you fill out a specific form allowing them to do so. So, of course, I sent those off maybe only 3 weeks ago. And here I am 3 weeks in, and I got paid when it had taken me from November until last Tuesday to literally get to the 4th out of 5 steps. I should say the 4th out of 6 steps, because the 5th step, of course, would have been going to the head honcho who had to agree or approve a check, and then 6 would have been paid. And of course, those would not have happened on the exact same day the way that this did. So the moral of the story here is, do not be afraid to reach out to your congresspeople and your senators to get something done. It happens, and it happens fast. So I am one happy camper today, and I hope that this is helpful information for anybody who is going through this. I will return to my regular type of programming probably tomorrow or Monday, but in the meantime, bonjour, bonsoir, take care of yourself, make sure you stay hydrated if you're in a hot state like I am, and I'll see you again soon. Au revoir.